Okay, so now we want to do the arms a little better, and for that we look here at the rest arm, which is in about rest position, and we see the maybe here the elbow is a little low. The elbow should sit here at the waist area, and so we try to bring in this now in our figure by using the, let me show it now. I'm using the snake hook brush again and pull back a little here for the arms, and so I try to bring in the elbow now. Here's our waist area. Okay. I remove, turn this off again. It's always a little difficult bit at the corners. Need to be careful that my radius of the brush is not too large, so that I can. So now I try not too much, but a little bring in the shape of the arms, and remembering how the muscles are running. So I have one from here. Now let's see, here's the inside of the arm. This should be rather flat. And here's the outside of the arm with muscle going on top. Quite exaggerated now. And should indicate the hands. Let me see. So here's the wrist area about. Let me see if this is good in proportions. Yes. Okay, so let's do the fingers a little bent. Okay, that's not working, so let's do this brush. Okay, that works much better. I want to bend the fingers a little, and I pull out an indication of the thumb so that I get a very basic form of the hand. And you see again, I'm trying to get in the big forms first. Here's these cushions, and here is the inside of the hand, and here about would be the knuckles. So we can flatten this area a little to get a better shape for the hand. Okay, I think I shouldn't work further on this. This is in a good rough state now. Okay, the arms are, well, not pretty, but it is okay for now. Now let's concentrate a little on let's do this on the face. So we want to bring in the basic structures for the face, and I think I try to do it with a snakehook brush. I'm using the snakehook brush now again, so something like that. So I first concentrate on the form from the side. That's about right. And now I cut in where the jawline is. Here in the center of the head about is where the ear attach. And before this goes the jawline. And here's the bony part of the... Okay, so let's cut this a little deeper so we can see better. And now I need to look from front. We know the eyes are on the horizontal center line, so I need to cut in the line where the eyes are about. And we don't want to do a detailed face, but just something that will be recognizable as a head in the end. You can't do a detailed figure in such a short amount of time, but we want to get to a figure which is essentially finished but needs cut. Now I have the crease brush again and cut in even deeper and cut. And now I use the crease brush inverted to pull out a little more of the nose and cut in here for the mouth area. And now we push back this material here. So I try to remember the planes from the plane tutorial. Okay, and now we need to slant back here the side a little. I use a scrape brush now. We need to have this plane here also, and this is the plane here for the jaw, something like that, and the mouth rounding. So now we need to cut underneath the nose. We know this length here from eyebrows to nose tip is the same about as from nose tip to chin. We have this here, and then this is divided again in 3 parts, and the last part is for the chin. And here's a mouth about. So okay, cut in a little deeper here and push this back. And I think that's almost all what we want to do now for the head. Since our polygons, okay, it's still not pretty. Our back of the head is not wide enough, I guess, on top. So we add a little more mass here. It should look rather round from the back, but we will add hair in the end anyway. And I want to indicate here the temple area, so I raise this just a little bit and push back here just a little bit, and so bringing in the general form of the head a little more clearly. So that will do for now, and we go over our figure now again on the torso and try to bring it in a little more pleasing shape. Maybe we should, yeah, I want to lower the detail size now again just a little bit. So we go to something like that. so that we can sculpt a little more details. So here it's quite deep. We know there's kind of a diamond shape here. That's a detail we don't care for now in the moment. Okay, that's fine for now. Here's the indication of the bone. Let me see, that's a little too far back. It should be more like here. I think my buttocks are quite far away, so carve them down a little. And the legs, and yes, they were way too wide in the side view. Okay, so they need a little wider here. That's a little difficult to reach at here. So okay, so let's check once more before we go into more details that our measurements are about correct. So I go back to orthogonal view and let's see. Okay, the knee sits about right, the lower leg is about right, the center line is running nicely, so our figure would stand stable. And now look from the front, the crotch area. Okay, here this is too low, the rib cage is a little too low, the shoulders are still not high enough. Okay, so we address this right now because that's important to get correct. Our arms are a little on the long side, so let's something, and then we add the muscles here later on. So this is everything here is a little too low. The arm, this is too low. And the hands are just a little too low. I'll make a brush even larger. So that looks better. He's a little too fat here on this area. So you see, we are still not completely done with the proportions, but you see now we have the even though we had sculpted it slightly in the wrong place, the indications we have sculpted already help us now to correct the proportions. And since we don't need to take care of topology or something, we just concentrate on form now, we can correct such mistakes. The head is slightly high. This looks quite good. Let it see from the side and from the back. Yes, here we are missing our muscles, and this is maybe just a little too low, something like that. And these are also way too low. I'm also looking at this figure here, not only using the measuring tool, and the elbows, something. Yes, now this looks pretty fine, so we can go back to perspective mode, remove the measuring tool. Now we are quite confident that our figure is basically in the correct proportions, and it looks already much better than in the beginning. And I guess in the next video we can really push it forward to come much closer to this than we are now. Okay. Okay, so now we want to refine even more, and I said that the torso, yes, so let's the torso is still quite bad. We still haven't really the good forms, and we see here the transition to the legs is already still completely wrong, but we know now that everything is about in the correct position. The head is still on is a little too wide, I think. So because it is irritating me now, I choose a scrape brush and try to push the face a little less wide. Yes, that's good. Okay, so something like that. And I don't want to do too much here with the face, but a little at the eyebrow area, so I want to indicate a little better the bony part. Okay, the nose. Our detail size is still, the polygons are still rather big for such detail, but we can indicate a little better how things go. Okay, cut in. Smoothing is quite strong on my clay strips brush, that's why we didn't see so much when I carved there. Okay, now it's coming along, and cut in some more underneath the nose. Okay, and yes, okay, and cut in more for the chin. I think I really made it too thick when I added this material here. Maybe I should have instead removed material here. Okay, so let's bring in the ears. The ears go from the brow line to the mouth about, and are a little slanted. Again, we just do a little indication to better judge our whole figure. And now we see we need to push back here, temple area more. Now it's coming along, you see, it's still. Okay, so let's cut in a little more that it gets a better neck. Remove here material, and now I add these big muscles here from which go to the center of the collarbone. Here's again, or better with a draw brushes, maybe better. S curve here. Okay. breast muscles are still on the bad side. Don't wrap around enough around this body, so I remove here material to wrap them around more around. They are wrapped around the rib cage, so that shouldn't be very flat. Okay, that's better. And here's a cut. As I tuck under this muscle here. Okay, that was good. Now let's carve in here for the armpit. I think that's what's called in English, right? And then here's a muscle coming around, or something like that. Okay, so that's, yeah, it's getting better, still not there. Now the rib cage. So we see when we compare the figures here that here's really this egg shape, and here it's more like a triangle. So we need to add material here on the side, about here, and then blend this in to make it more shaped like an egg. And first I just consider the form. Now you see how well this works. Now we see this egg shape as we see here, and we can refine more and so carve in just a little bit here to make the transition. First I exaggerate a little, and later we will refine and take out the exaggerations. So this is, yes, it's much better now. Now why it looks, so the one problem always with sculpting is that you need to understand or figure out why is your sculpt looking so odd. Well, we see here one problem is we don't have this big muscle which is running here from the neck to the shoulders and attaches here on the front. So we see it here on this figure here on the side and here on the back. And this is missing, and that's so the shoulders dip in kind of, and that's of course wrong. So we next add this muscle. We know it's going like a hoodie around to the collarbone here, and let's indicate for the sake of clearness more where the arms attaches here, and it goes around like here, and it's quite strong big muscle. And here I'm cut in with a crease brush again here to make the spine, and here's a diamond shape. Here actually we can see one of the bones from the spine, or not really, but it is very close to the surface. So, and where is this muscle attaching? It's attaching on the top rim of the shoulder blades, or so, something like that. So we add here our muscle and really material, add really a lot of material here to get this correct. Attaches about here. So much better. Now that I exaggerated this too much here, I can push it down. And of course here the transition is way too exaggerated. We see it here just gently. So I do take out this exaggeration now. And with my brush strokes I try to remember where these emphasis the shoulder blades a little, where these muscles were running, and we see here we have quite a, that's a, yes, triangular, yes, it's not deep enough. We see I need, well, cut it with a, now I'm using the draw brush, cut in just once more and back to the clay strips brush and try to make it more like a V-shaped valley for now. So that's much better. Again, we try to improve, but we don't stay too long at one place. Rather, we work around our figure. And from the back, it's now starting to look better. Here we should see this big muscle on the arm. Let's make the cut more clearly. I think it's more like this way. And it attaches here quite far on the back, so something like here. So we need to adjust this, add more material here. Shape is not quite right. When we look here, it should look more roundish. Yes, something. Yes, I think that was quite good. Okay. Again, we try not to make too many things on one area, but work around the figure to get all things done simultaneously, so to say. And now I bring in this strong muscle here, which is visible from the front too when we look here, and turn it not too much in this figure, but a little it is visible in the front, and we want to have this at least a little. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Our head is still a little oddly shaped from the back view, so I want to address this now. Or maybe we give him some hair like the other one. And to do this, I remove this lock here for a moment, and the brush stroke is much stronger. And you see now it's, even though I lowered the intensity of the brush, it's stroking much stronger. And this way I can indicate, like for this figure, where the hair is. Here in the back it's just a little bit of hair, and the volume is on top on the sides. So you see, when we add a little indication of the hair, it's easier to judge the proportions of the face and so on, because we are used to see, for most people anyway, a figure with hair. Okay, so we will break the symmetry later, and also in the hairdo, but for now, and I put on now the lock again, since I want to sculpt the other things more carefully. And I see here quite a ridge, which shouldn't be there. Okay, so now let's go down to the buttocks, and I think we do this in the next video. The rib cage and the top part now looks maybe not pretty yet, but it's coming along. And now in the next video we will address the lower part of the body.